Hey, what's up guys? It is Rob from Movie Review Time, and I'm back with a brand new collection video. Going to be talking about superheroes today, some of my favorites. I'm going to show you guys my entire MCU movie collection. I do own all the movies from Phase 1 to Phase 3 on Blu-ray, 4K, and also DVD. I love the Marvel movies. There's a certain charm to them. I love the characters. I love the casting choices that Marvel makes. And I love superheroes, you know. My two favorite genres are like superhero movies and horror movies. And that's why I like Brightburn so much, because they combined those two genres. But I love comic books, and I don't know, I've just always been a fan of superheroes. I mean, I even have an Avengers blanket, okay? Look at this. So, I'm a huge fan. So I'm going to show you guys what I have here in order, you know, the years they came out. So, hope you guys enjoy this. Let me know what you think of some of these editions, and let's get started. First up is the very first Iron Man. This is the ultimate 2-disc edition. Who would have thought by making this movie we would have a big universe where all these characters go through certain stories and then come out at the end either on top or on the bottom, living or dying. It's just great storytelling. But here's where it all started, right here, Iron Man with Robert Downey Jr. I freaking love this movie. It is fantastic, and it's definitely one of my favorites. So that is Iron Man. Next up, we have The Incredible Hulk here on DVD with Edward Norton. Now, I gotta be honest, the one with Eric Bana called Hulk, I actually like that better. And I might receive some flack for that, but I don't care. It's my opinion. I don't care for Edward Norton at all, especially for this role. I even think Mark Ruffalo plays a better Hulk than Edward Norton. This movie has a lot of problems with it, but it is part of the cinematic universe. So William Hurt, I do like him, and I like Liv Tyler as well, but I'm not a fan of Edward Norton. You know, I heard he's a real jerk to work with, so I thought the CGI battle with Hulk and Abomination was an abomination. It was just terrible, but again, that's my opinion. So The Incredible Hulk. Next up, we have Iron Man 2. This is the Blu-ray DVD digital copy. This is a sequel that gets hated on. And to be honest, I prefer this movie over Iron Man 3. Again, that's just my opinion. Is this kind of a weak Iron Man movie? Yeah. But I still think it holds up better than Iron Man 3. I just, you know, I like, you know, Scarlett Johansson in this, you know, Black Widow. I do like Whiplash, even though he doesn't do much. You know, that's kind of the thing where people complain that he didn't do a lot. There's the racetrack scene with him and then the end battle. But, you know, all the scenes with Robert Downey Jr. are great. So, I like this movie. Next up, we have Thor here on Blu-ray. The first Thor. I enjoy this one. It's a lot better than the second movie. But, yeah. You know, Chris Hemsworth is born to play Thor, much like Chris Evans is born to play Captain America, or Robert Downey Jr. is born to play Tony Stark, Iron Man. So, yeah, it's a good movie. Next up is Captain America, the First Avenger here on Blu-ray. I gotta be honest, I wasn't really crazy about this film when I first saw it. It's kind of slow paced, and it's story driven, And that could be a good thing or a bad thing. You know, the time period, I think it's the weakest of the Captain America movies, but it's not by any means a bad movie. I love Red Skull. And like I said, Chris Evans, what they did with him, like, you know, he was like skinny, and then they give him the serum, and then he turns into, you know, this buff muscle man known as Captain America. Pretty awesome. Last of Phase 1 here is Avengers. Now, this is my favorite superhero film of all time. They did such a good job with this collaboration of all the heroes. You know, they brought Iron Man, Thor, Captain America, Hulk, and, you know, Black Widow together. Hawkeye appeared in Thor. They brought all these heroes together. And they did such a good job with this movie. The visual effects are stunning. I freaking love the fights, the battles, and, you know, the fact that they don't get along at first and then they team up. It's amazing. This movie has a fantastic score. It was so well done. When it comes to Joss Whedon, this is his miracle right here. Okay, never mind what he's done other than that. So, moving on to Phase 2, which I feel has a lot of weak movies in the beginning, but then it starts to get good. Here we start with Iron Man 3. This was a weird, disappointing film. It's part of the extremist line, which I understood. I did not like the whole beating around the bush about, you know, the Mandarin. Having a guy play the Mandarin, and he's just an actor, and then Guy Pearce says he's the Mandarin, but they're not really the Mandarin because of that short that came out that says the Mandarin is still out there somewhere. So you have two guys pretending to be the Mandarin. It's ridiculous. I'm sorry. It was stupid, and Shane Black has been putting out some stinkers lately. I didn't mind the stuff with Robert Downey Jr., you know, losing all his tech, and like he has to, you know, kind of put things together because he's a brilliant mind, and I didn't mind that part of it. It's just everything else. You know, you have Guy Pearce acting like freaking Jim Carrey from Batman Forever. I mean, it was just like that. I don't know, this movie just wasn't good. Another stinker, in my opinion, is Thor: The Dark World. Like I said, Phase 2 starts out pretty bad and then gets better. But, yeah, Thor: The Dark World was very disappointing. Malekith, you know, the Dark Elf, he's a cool, like, bad guy. I just don't think they did enough with him in this. The whole realm jumping was pretty neat, the convergence or whatever. I thought that was pretty cool, but yeah, they just didn't do enough. It just didn't. I didn't feel like he was an intimidating character. But other than that, like Chris Hemsworth, you know, he always does good as Thor. So then we get on to the movies that start to really blow us away, and that is Captain America: The Winter Soldier. Here I have the Blu-ray 3D Blu-ray with this really cool cover. And at this time, you know, if you went to Walmart and found the Blu-ray 3D movies, they would come with a slipcover, and they would come with a really, really cool one. So I got this actually at the Salvation Army unopened for like $2. So, I mean, I couldn't pass it up. The version I had was just the standard version, and the standard version had this cover, which I didn't mind, but I just got it basically for the, you know, the cover and the look. So this definitely blew me away. Definitely one of the best MCU movies ever. Just so good. Here we have another surprise, which is Guardians of the Galaxy. This is the Blu-ray Steelbook. This is actually pretty rare. It's kind of hard to get. As you can see there, it's basically a version of Star-Lord's Walkman. That's what the design is, but it's a steel book. I love this movie, even though I like the second one more. I really was impressed by the Guardians of the Galaxy. This was given to me by, well, who I thought was a friend at the time, but he's a douchebag now. He basically gave it to me for free. I didn't ask for it. He just basically gave it to me, and I accepted. So, you know, whatever. I wish things could have been different, but yeah, he's just... I don't want to talk about that anymore, but yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy. Next up is Avengers Age of Ultron, which is the second Avengers movie. And by this time, you know, the Avengers are the Avengers. They've done some really good work in the first movie, and now they're fighting Ultron. I thought this movie could have been better. There are some really, really good moments and some really weird moments. How Black Widow is infatuated with, you know, Banner. I thought that kind of love story thing was kind of weird, and it didn't really fit. Ultron was cool. I just didn't think he was as sinister as he could have been. In the comics, he is ruthless. I kind of felt like he was more humanized here. I love the Vision, though. I think Vision is fantastic. I'm currently watching WandaVision. WandaVision is really, really good. This was, of course, the movie that first, you know, brought on Vision and Scarlet Witch. So, really, really cool moments, for sure. The last movie in Phase 2 here, we have Ant-Man, which another movie that blew me away. I really had no interest in this movie when it was first announced, and then I saw the trailer and I'm like, okay, it looks interesting, but this movie blew me away. I love the effects in this when he shrinks down. It is so good, and it was funny. Paul Rudd is the best part of the whole thing. Paul Rudd was the perfect choice for Ant-Man. So I have become a huge Ant-Man fan. Now, in the comics, you know, Ant-Man, I still don't think Ant-Man was that big of a character in the comics. Hank Pym's Ant-Man was a lot, you know, he was a lot more popular in some regard than Scott Lang's Ant-Man. But in this case, you know, Hank Pym is older. You get to see some scenes with Hank Pym as Ant-Man, but all in all, it's cool. I really enjoyed it. So then we get to Phase 3, which really, really blew everything out of the water. We got Captain America Civil War here. This is Collector's Edition Blu-ray 3D, of course, with this cool cover. I think it's kind of funny how they don't have Spider-Man on the cover here. You know, because they were trying to keep that a huge secret until they gave it away. You know, in the trailer, they finally revealed Spider-Man. But anyway, Civil War was great. It was like Avengers 2.0, basically. It was great. I freaking love the story, the back and forth between Cap and Iron Man. It's awesome. Then we have Doctor Strange here on Blu-ray. I love Doctor Strange. I thought it was a fresh take on a character that not many people know about, and they did a good job explaining a lot of things. I can't wait for the second movie, and I loved Doctor Strange even more in Infinity War. Here we have the 4K of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. I love this more than the first. I love Kurt Russell's Ego of the Living Planet. He was perfect. This movie was more funny. It was visually stunning. I freaking love the characters. And, you know, you got Stallone and Michael Rooker in the same movie, as well as Kurt Russell. I mean, you got Tango and Cash, and then you got, you know, Michael Rooker and Stallone from Cliffhanger together. It's like, wow, that's awesome. In one movie. Crazy. Here we have the 4K of Spider-Man Homecoming. I will say this, you know, I always say this, and I still want to stick with it, is that I don't know if Tom Holland's I think he's okay as Spider-Man. My favorite is Tobey Maguire. I just don't think he can hold his own movie. It just seems like he always needs somebody in his movie. Like he needs Iron Man in his movie. He needs, you know, whoever in his movie. I just want him to, you know, like the third Spider-Man movie they're making is going to supposedly have all the Spider-Mans in it. So it's like, he, you know, I don't know. Homecoming was all right. Next we have the 4K of Thor Ragnarok, my favorite Thor of all the Thors. They really outdid themselves here. It's like a comedy, but with a lot of action and a really kind of like an 80s vibe. It visually it's stunning, but this was a great move by doing this to Thor, because after coming off the last Thor movie, this is what they needed to do. Really, this is what they needed. I loved Cate Blanchett as Hela, and you have the appearance of Hulk in this. Really, really cool. I want to say rest in peace to Chadwick Boseman. This is Black Panther here on Blu-ray. This was a hit. This made a lot of money and an unforgettable film. Really, really well done. Black Panther. Here's the 4K of Infinity War, the third Avengers movie, with Thanos going, you know, fighting all the heroes. All the heroes come together, and they have this big battle. Amazing movie. Really, really amazing. Here we have Ant-Man and the Wasp on Blu-ray. I like this film a lot. I think I like Ghost, the villain in this. I like the quantum realm stuff that they get into. Really, really cool. Here we have Captain Marvel, which a lot of people hate. They don't like Brie Larson. I had no problem with Brie Larson. I thought she was good. I thought she was great as Captain Marvel. I don't know. I really don't get it. I don't get the whole wooden thing. Oh, she's wooden. She shows no emotion. Like, really? Like, I don't think you and I were watching the same movie. But anyway, I had no problem in this movie. I thought she was badass. She really shows it in Endgame. And that brings us to Avengers Endgame. A really great conclusion to, like, 10 years of Marvel. A lot of epic scenes, long movie, but definitely made me cry. It made me cry a lot more than Infinity War. Last, we have the 4K of Spider-Man Far From Home, which has a lot of problems. Mysterio was a good choice, but the way they went about things just was not the best choice. Some of the stuff is weird, but you know, all in all, it is a Spider-Man movie, so, you know, they tried. But this pretty much wraps up Phase 3 for, you know, the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Now, here's the thing. A lot of the stuff has been delayed. You know, a lot of stuff has been delayed for 2021. That was supposed to come out in 2020, but you got Black Widow starting Phase 4. You know, you got Shang-Chi, Legend of the Ten Rings, which those two come out this year, 2021, as well as the Eternals, which is November, and then Spider-Man No Way Home is 2021. So you got 4 Marvel movies coming out in 2021. You got Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness in 2022, along with Thor Love and Thunder, Black Panther 2, and Captain Marvel 2, as well as Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania. So you got 4 to 5 movies coming out next year. And Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, slated for 2023, and then Fantastic Four is still being determined. So there's still stuff coming. Plus the TV shows. Like I said, WandaVision, you got Loki, you got you got Falcon and the Winter Soldier, you got just, you know, the Hawkeye, you got all this stuff with Marvel, and it just seems like they're really kicking butt. So, anyway, guys, I just want to show you my collection. Hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.